going on, everybody? Ryan Kennedy here again, and today we're going to do a how-to video. This is about one of the most talked about topics in bass fishing, how to skip. Now, you see pros and other guys on videos that just skip, go right up under a dock and something. You might go out to the lake and just plop. There it goes. Bird's nest or anything. Some kind of backlash happens. Now, I'm going to try to clear this up for you guys on how to skip your lures properly and to get them in the places that not every angler has been to. Now, these bass receive tons of pressure on a daily basis, so it's important, like this dock we have here. Some of these bass are going to be as tight back in the shade as they possibly can be, tucked up and suspended up underneath that float. Now, only way to get there is to skip. So I'm going to show you how to skip with a spinning setup and also with a bait casting setup. I know most people have more questions about a bait caster because it can be a lot more difficult, but we're going to start from the beginning stages all the way to the advanced stages of skipping. So let's go over to this dock and I'll show you what I do. Okay, now the rig that I'm skipping is a Wacky Rig. Okay, there you go. It's just a weightless VMC Wacky hook with a weed guard, and it's a small Yum dinger. Now what I'm going to do, this is a weightless rig, so there's not a whole lot of resistance to keep it from skipping. I'm skipping it on 15-pound Power Pro braid connected to a 10-pound Seagar and VizX leader. I've got it just on this Abu Garcia spinning reel and a St. Croix Mojo bass rod, 7-foot medium action. Now, lots of people prefer shorter rods. I'm a taller guy, so it really doesn't affect me that much, but lots of people would prefer a shorter rod to help them skip better. Now, I like to reel it up to where I've just got some space right there, just enough so I can get some momentum and build up the rod tip. Now, obviously, for a spinning reel, you get it to where you can cast it, you flip the bail, and it's a rolling motion, so watch. Right there, just a rolling motion and let the lure do the work. Now, a normal cast, if I was casting, I may have only been able to get, to the front of the dock, but that went underneath the ropes and back in there. Then you can fish it out. I'll reel it in for the purpose of the demonstration. So, reel it up to where you have some space, flip your bail, and I'm holding it right here, and I'm doing a rolling motion like you're skipping a rock. Pretty much everybody has skipped rocks before. It's that same motion of getting it close to the water and allowing it to glide on top of the water surface. So, here we go again. Just swooping your rod tip down to where the lure gets close to the water and then it's able to glide. I'll do a couple more demonstrations before we swap to the bait caster. Once again. Right up underneath that pontoon. And with a normal pitch, if you were pitching a jig or something, you may be able to pitch out in front of the pontoon, try to get the bass to come out, but why not go in after him? All right, I'm going to do one more demonstration with the spinning gear, and then we're going to move to the bait caster. So like I said, right there, grip the rod, skip, and work it out. All right, let's move to the bait caster. Okay, so we've learned how to skip with a spinning rod. What about a bait caster? It doesn't have the control that a spinning rod has to where it just does the work for you. You actually have to use your thumb to control this bait caster, but when done correctly, you can have some of the best skips possible. Now what I've got on here right now is just a Z-Man chatterbait with a Lake Fork Trophy Lures Magic Shad as the trailer, just a little jointed swim bait right there. And I've got it set up on a 6.6 medium heavy. I do like a shorter bait casting rod. Like I said, it really doesn't affect me that much on a spinning rod, but I do like a shorter rod when I'm around docks on a bait casting setup. Now I've got this, you can use whatever, sure, your monofilaments and your braids are going to be easier to skip because they float. Your fluorocarbon may dig in a little bit, but you can still skip with it. That's how I skip jigs and stuff like that. This is actually 15-pound monofilament and set up on my chatterbait. And I'm going to show you how to skip with a bait caster. Just like that. So it's the same motion and it's still gliding on top of the water. Same thing, just like you're skipping the rock, like we talked about before, getting low to the water and getting it to glide on top of the water surface. So, watch again. Just hitting it right there. And then you work on accuracy. Like this one's going to go up into this whole slot right there. And you get it as far up in there as you possibly can. So let's talk about what I did there. So like I said, I've got my Z-Man chatterbait and my Lake Fork Trophy Lures Magic Shad on there. Monofilament line, 6'6", medium heavy. It's the same motion. I still get that little bit of space right there and grip it just how I normally would. I like to grab the butt. Some people don't. That's just how I like to do it. To me, it's easier, and that's how I learned. So I like to grip it right there, low to the water, and I like to pick my rod up as it's skipping. Now, I just do that so it doesn't dig in. If you didn't do that, you're probably gonna have some overrun or backlash. So I'm slowly just picking it up. Let me fix my skirt there, it slid down on me. Super glue is big when you're skipping. Super glue is obviously worn off on this one, but if you super glue your trailer and stuff like that, it really helps for it not to pull down, because after a few skips, it will pull down, unless you've got a really good keeper on there. But might as well just super glue it. So like I said, right there, like a rock, and I'm picking up my rod tip, no backlash, no nothing. Perfect. And especially with this chatterbait, it helps you because you may be going down a bank, and it's this, like I said, this is not just for docks. If it's overhanging branches or something and you can't cast right in there, you need to skip up under it. You go from this to then you got more advanced techniques like pitch skipping like that, and it's going to get low to the water surface and just like that. Now that is a more advanced technique, so right now we're just kind of sticking with the main part of skipping, which is you curl it around just like you're skipping a rock. Let me demonstrate a couple more times and show you how to skip with a Baitcaster. It can be used for getting in between boats, underneath dock cables, wherever you need to get that you couldn't get with a regular cast before. And all about just pulling up so it doesn't dig in. Let's talk about pitch skipping. Pitch skipping is where how you would normally be pitching or flipping a bait, how you would if you were out punching mats or anything like that. But we're going to take it and we're going to skip it. So this involves zero sidearm. So say you're on the back of the boat or something and you don't have room to swing your rod over there without hitting your partner. Now, this is where the pitch skip comes in. So it takes a little more practice, but you just kind of lay the bait in your hand right there. Skips, just like that. Now I'll show you some more distance pitches with it. It's just another thing to add to your arsenal, being able to pitch skip on top of skipping. But I would work on just the regular skipping first. But then, as soon as you get the feel of skipping, pitch skipping is not that difficult. Let's do a couple pitch skips with the spinning gear. I like to get it between my reel and my first eye. And get it, flip your bail, hold your bait in your hand, and let it go. Skip just like you would normally, same release point. Now when you transition to pitch skipping for the first time, it may take a little adjustment to find out where your release is. People with different heights, that's going to change. My release point's different than somebody who's a little shorter than me. They're down lower, closer to the water, so they're not going to release the same spot that I do. And for everybody, it's different. You got to find what gear you like to use, what baits you like to skip, just stuff like that. And it's just really going to help you guys to get in the spots where not every angler has been in. Those bass might not have seen as many lures, and it's going to end up for you catching more fish, maybe even winning your tournament for you. So guys, I hope you learned a lot on this tip video. Anything else you want to learn, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll be sure to get out in the water and do a video for you guys. But this is the basics of skipping lures when you're bass fishing, or really any kind of fishing. Just stick to the basics, get low to the water like you're skipping a rock, and you'll be good to go. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and y'all have a great day.